Good evening, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that speaks to the very core of human connection, love. Not just romantic love, but the kind of love that shapes our lives, be it from friends, family, or even ourselves. Love, when it's real, is bold, it's wholehearted, it's brave. But all too often, we settle for something less, we settle for half love. And let me tell you, that's a love that will leave you emptier than if you'd had no love at all. We need to talk about what it means to truly love and to be truly loved. Not halfway, not hesitantly, but fully and fearlessly. Because here's the truth, half love isn't love at all. It's fear wearing a mask. Let's start by acknowledging something fundamental. Love is one of the most vulnerable acts a human can undertake. To truly love someone means opening yourself up, completely showing them your strengths, your weaknesses, your scars, and your dreams. It means standing in front of another person emotionally naked and saying, "This is me. Will you still choose me?" That kind of openness is terrifying. And that's why so many people only offer half love. Half love is the product of fear. It's the fear of being hurt, the fear of rejection, and the fear of losing control. When someone loves halfway, they're holding something back to protect themselves. They want the connection, but they don't want to risk the pain that might come with it. They build walls around their hearts, not to shut you out completely, but to keep themselves safe. But here's the thing about walls: they don't just keep pain out, they also keep love out. Love cannot thrive in the presence of fear, because fear creates limits, and love is limitless. Half love is a transaction, not a commitment. It says, "I will give you just enough of me to keep you close, but not enough to let you truly know me." It's like planting a seed but never watering it, hoping it will somehow grow on its own. Fear in love often masquerades as caution or practicality. It might look like someone who refuses to define the relationship, who withholds affection, or who is emotionally distant. They might tell themselves and you that they're just being careful, that they don't want to rush things, or that they need to protect themselves from past wounds. But the truth is, they're afraid to love fully because full love demands courage. Courage means stepping into the unknown. It means risking heartbreak and disappointment. It means acknowledging that there are no guarantees in love, but choosing to give your all anyway. Half love avoids these risks. It's a defense mechanism, a way to stay comfortable and in control. But here's the catch: you can't have true connection without taking that leap of courage. And let's not forget, this isn't just about romantic relationships. Fear-driven half love shows up in friendships and families, and even in the way we love ourselves. How often do we hold back from giving our full attention, affection, or support because we're afraid of being let down? How often do we keep people at arm's length because we're scared of being vulnerable? Half love might feel safe in the moment, but over time it erodes trust and connection. It leaves both people feeling unfulfilled because love was never meant to be rationed. It's meant to be abundant, overflowing, and fearless. So when you encounter half love, either in yourself or in someone else, ask, what am I afraid of? Is it the fear of being hurt, of being judged, of not being enough? Recognize the fear for what it is, and then choose courage. Because the alternative, a life of half love, isn't living at all. It's merely surviving. True love, the kind that transforms and sustains us, can only exist when we are brave enough to confront our fears. It asks us to let go of the illusion of control and to step fully into the light. And while that might feel uncomfortable or even terrifying, it's the only way to experience the fullness of what love has to offer. Remember, this fear is a thief. It robs us of connection, intimacy, and joy. Don't let it dictate how you love or how you allow yourself to be loved. Choose courage over fear every single time. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were constantly standing in the shadows? Maybe it wasn't obvious at first. Maybe there were moments of light, glimmers of warmth that made you believe you were experiencing love in its truest form. But over time, you started to notice something missing, something essential. That's the thing about shadow love. It's subtle. It's the kind of love that leaves you guessing, waiting, hoping for more, but never quite receiving it. And here's the hard truth: love like that isn't love at all. Love is not meant to be rationed, concealed, or partial. Love, when it's real, is all-encompassing. It embraces you in your entirety, not just the parts of you that are easy or convenient to love. But half-love shadow love operates differently. It lingers on the edges, offering just enough to keep you tied to it, but never enough to truly nourish your heart. It's like trying to live on scraps when you were meant to feast. You deserve so much more than that. You deserve love in its fullness, a love that stands in the light, unapologetic and complete. Shadow love is often rooted in a lack of commitment or fear of vulnerability. The person offering it might not even realize what they're doing. They could be carrying their own wounds, their own fears, their own limitations, but their inability to give fully doesn't change what you deserve. You deserve someone who is willing to meet you with their whole heart, not just fragments of it. Think about the nature of light and shadow. A shadow can only exist when something stands in the way of light. In relationships, those obstacles can look like insecurity, emotional unavailability, or selfishness. And when you accept shadow love, you're allowing those obstacles to take up space in your life. You're settling for a dim, filtered version of love when you were made for the brilliance of the real thing. So many of us accept shadow love because we tell ourselves it's better than nothing. We think at least they're trying. At least I'm not alone. But is that enough? Are you truly fulfilled by love that asks you to shrink, to dim your own light just to accommodate someone else's fears? Or are you left feeling hollow, questioning if this is all there is? Here's what fullness and love looks like. It's love that celebrates you, not just tolerates you. It's love that shows up when it's hard, not just when it's convenient. It's love that invites you into the light, that says, I see you, all of you, and I choose you anyway. Full love doesn't hide behind excuses or conditions. It doesn't ask you to earn it or chase it. It flows freely, openly, and abundantly. You deserve a love that doesn't keep you waiting for validation or approval. You deserve a love that makes you feel seen, heard, and valued every single day. And most importantly, you deserve a love that reflects the love you give. If you're offering your whole heart, why settle for someone who offers only half of theirs? And let's be clear, this isn't just about romantic relationships. This principle applies to every connection in your life: friendships, family, even your relationship with yourself. How often do we give ourselves shadow love? How often do we offer ourselves mere slivers of kindness, compassion, or grace instead of the fullness we deserve? It's time to step out of the shadows. It's time to demand the kind of love that fills you up, that makes you feel alive and whole. And if someone cannot meet you there, if they cannot offer you the fullness of their love, then it's okay to walk away. Because staying in the shadows will never bring you the light you crave. You were made for the fullness of love. Don't settle for anything less. Choose relationships that reflect that truth. And if you ever doubt what you deserve, remember this: the love you seek starts with you. Give yourself the fullness of love first and watch how it transforms every connection in your life. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. It's the glue that holds two people together through the highs and lows, the joy and the challenges. Without trust, even the strongest connection begins to crumble. And one of the most insidious ways trust is eroded is through half-love. When someone loves halfway, they're sending mixed signals. On one hand, they may express care, affection, or even devotion. But on the other hand, their actions, words, or lack of consistency reveal hesitation, doubt, or even indifference. This duality creates a crack in the foundation of trust, a crack that grows wider and deeper with time. Let's break this down. Trust is built on predictability and reliability. It's knowing that the other person will show up for you, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Half-love is unpredictable. It keeps you guessing. One day, it feels like you're the most important person in their world. The next day, they're distant, preoccupied, or unwilling to meet you where you are. This inconsistency plants seeds of doubt. Can I count on them? Do they really care? Am I enough for them? When those questions start to arise, the erosion begins. It's subtle at first. Maybe you start to second guess their intentions. Maybe you hesitate to share your own feelings, worried they won't reciprocate. Over time, these small hesitations snowball into larger issues. The relationship becomes fraught with uncertainty, a minefield of unspoken doubts and unaddressed fears. And let's not overlook the impact of half-love on your self-trust. When someone offers you love that's conditional or incomplete, it can make you question your own judgment. Why did I let myself trust them? Why do I keep believing in something that feels so uncertain? That erosion of self-trust is just as damaging, if not more so, than the loss of trust in the other person. Half-love also chips away at trust because it often masks deeper issues, fear, insecurity, or a lack of commitment. The person offering half-love may not even be aware of the damage they're causing. They might believe they're doing their best, or they might not want to confront their own inability to love fully. But intent doesn't negate impact. Even if they don't mean to hurt you, their half-love still leaves you feeling unsupported and unsure. True love, by contrast, builds trust because it's transparent, consistent, and whole. It doesn't keep parts of itself hidden or hold back out of fear. When someone loves fully, they're saying, I am here and I am all in. You can trust me to show up not just when it's convenient or comfortable, but always. That kind of love creates a safe space for both people to be vulnerable, to grow, and to deepen their connection. But half-love does the opposite. It creates a dynamic where one person is always reaching, always trying to bridge the gap, while the other remains guarded or hesitant. Over time, that imbalance leads to resentment. How can you trust someone who never fully meets you where you are? How can you trust a love that feels conditional, fleeting, or incomplete? Here's another layer to consider when trust is eroded by half-love. It doesn't just affect the relationship at hand. It can carry over into future relationships, making it harder to trust again. You might find yourself building walls, assuming others will offer the same incomplete love you experienced before. The damage done by half-love has ripple effects that extend far beyond the initial connection. So what's the solution? It starts with awareness. Recognize when you're being offered half-love and acknowledge the toll it's taking on your trust, both in the relationship and in yourself. Then make a choice. You cannot force someone to love fully, but you can set boundaries. You can communicate your needs and expectations, and you can decide whether to stay or to walk away. Above all, remember this: you deserve a love that strengthens trust, not erodes it. You deserve consistency, transparency, and a partner who meets you with their whole heart. Half-love will never provide that. It will always leave you questioning, doubting, and yearning for more. Trust is too precious to gamble on half-love. Protect it. Demand a love that builds you up, that honors your vulnerability, and that stands unwavering in its commitment. Because trust, once broken, is incredibly hard to rebuild. And your heart deserves the kind of love that never risks breaking it in the first place. When someone offers you only half of their love, they don't just shortchange the relationship, they inadvertently make you question your value. Half-lovers, whether consciously or not, send a message that you are only worthy a part of their time, part of their attention, and part of their affection. Over time, that message seeps into your thoughts, taking root in your sense of self. Half-lovers operate in a space of uncertainty. They might be physically present, but emotionally absent. They may give you glimpses of affection, but withhold the depth and commitment you truly deserve. This creates a disorienting push and pull dynamic. One moment you feel wanted and seen. The next you're left wondering what changed, what went wrong, or if you somehow failed to earn their full affection. This inconsistency plays tricks on your mind. It's human nature to try to understand and rationalize the behavior of those we care about. But when faced with half love, it's easy to internalize their lack of commitment as a reflection of your own inadequacies. You might start to think, if I were just more interesting, more beautiful, more successful, or more something, maybe they'd love me fully. These thoughts can spiral into deep self-doubt, making you question your worth in ways that feel profoundly personal. The truth is, love is one of the most affirming forces we can experience when it's genuine. But when it's partial, conditional, or inconsistent, it does the opposite. Instead of lifting you up, it weighs you down. Half lovers often fail to realize how their reluctance to fully invest impacts the person on the receiving end. Their indecision, hesitation, or fear might not be about you at all, but their inability to love fully leaves you holding the emotional burden of their half-heartedness. This burden can manifest in subtle but damaging ways. You might start to shrink yourself, dimming your light to avoid overwhelming them. You may find yourself overcompensating, doing more, giving more, and bending over backward in an attempt to fill the gaps left by their half-love. And yet, no matter how much you give, it never seems to be enough to elicit the kind of love you crave. This imbalance creates a constant sense of inadequacy, as though their incomplete love is somehow your fault. Even the language of half-love is insidious. When a half-lover says things like, "I'm just not ready for something serious," or "I care about you, but," it places the weight of the situation on you, leaving you to decipher what's wrong or what's missing. Their ambiguity can feel like rejection, even if that's not their intention. And rejection, whether real or perceived, has a way of piercing through your self-confidence, leaving you feeling small and unsure of yourself. Over time, the presence of a half-lover can reshape how you see yourself. You might start to accept breadcrumbs of affection as the norm, believing that full, unconditional love is unattainable or reserved for someone else. You might even question whether you are inherently unlovable, simply because someone who should care for you deeply only does so halfway. The worst part is that this doubt doesn't stay confined to the relationship itself. It begins to bleed into other areas of your life. You might find yourself hesitating to take risks, speak up, or pursue your dreams because somewhere, deep down, you've internalized the idea that you aren't enough. The scars left by half-love are not always visible, but they run deep, shaping how you view yourself and the world around you. Half-lovers rarely understand the ripple effects of their behavior. They might think they're protecting themselves or being cautious, but in doing so, they inadvertently plant seeds of self-doubt in the hearts of those who care for them. And while their love may be incomplete, the pain and confusion it causes are overwhelming. Love, in its truest form, is a partnership. It is the meeting of two individuals who commit to walking side by side, supporting each other and growing together. At its core, true love is about mutual effort, a dynamic exchange where both people contribute equally to the relationship's growth and success. When love becomes a one-sided compromise, it loses its balance, and the connection begins to tilt under the weight of unreciprocated effort. In a relationship where mutual effort is present, both partners willingly invest time, energy, and emotion into building something meaningful. They understand that love is not just about grand gestures or fleeting moments of romance, it's about showing up every single day. It's about the consistent actions that say, "I see you, I value you, I am here for you." True love thrives when both people carry the emotional load together, ensuring neither feels overwhelmed or undervalued. On the other hand, when love becomes one-sided, one partner often ends up giving more, compromising their own needs, dreams, and boundaries to accommodate the other. This dynamic can feel draining and disheartening. Over time, the partner who constantly compromises may start to feel invisible, like their efforts are unappreciated or taken for granted. They might wonder, am I the only one fighting for this? Does my effort even matter? These feelings can breed resentment and slowly erode the bond that once felt so strong. One-sided compromise often disguises itself as love because it involves sacrifice, and sacrifice is often romanticized. We're told that true love requires us to make sacrifices for the ones we care about. While there is truth in that, the key is reciprocity. Healthy love involves two people who are equally willing to give and receive. If one person is always the giver while the other remains passive or disengaged, the relationship becomes lopsided and unsustainable. Mutual effort doesn't mean everything is always perfectly balanced. Life rarely works that way. There will be times when one partner needs to give more because the other is going through a difficult season. But even in those moments, the effort is still mutual in spirit. The person receiving more support understands the imbalance is temporary and expresses gratitude. They remain committed to stepping up when the tides shift, ensuring the relationship remains rooted in fairness and respect. True love requires active participation from both partners. It involves honest communication, where each person feels safe to express their needs and desires without fear of judgment or rejection. It's not about one partner always bending to the will of the other or making compromises that leave them feeling depleted or unfulfilled. Instead, it's about finding solutions together, creating a relationship where both people feel heard, respected, and valued. One-sided compromise can also create a power dynamic that undermines the foundation of the relationship. The partner who constantly gives may start to feel like they are less important, while the other might unknowingly grow accustomed to receiving without reciprocating. This imbalance can create emotional distance as the giver begins to feel unappreciated, and the receiver might take their effort for granted. Love is not meant to feel like a burden, nor is it meant to be transactional. It is an ongoing exchange of energy, care, and commitment that strengthens the bond between two people. Mutual effort is what keeps love alive, vibrant, and enduring. It ensures that both partners feel equally invested, creating a relationship that can weather challenges and grow stronger over time. True love acknowledges that compromise is inevitable, but it ensures that the compromises are shared. Both partners understand that their individual happiness contributes to the relationship's success, and they work together to create an environment where both can thrive. They recognize that love is not about losing oneself to please another. It's about finding balance where both individuals feel seen, supported, and valued for who they truly are. In the journey of love, there is no room for half measures, hesitations, or withholding. Love, at its essence, demands the courage to show up fully, to give fully, and to be fully present in the vulnerability it requires. Anything less half-love, one-sided compromises, or incomplete commitment only serves to diminish the profound connection that true love can offer. True love is not about accepting breadcrumbs of affection or settling for relationships that leave us doubting our worth, questioning our trust, or carrying the emotional weight alone. It is about standing in the fullness of our value and understanding that we are worthy of a love that mirrors that fullness, a love that is mutual, intentional, and unwavering. To accept anything less than whole love is to sell yourself short, to compromise the depth and beauty of what a real connection can be. Loving fully and being loved fully is the standard we should all hold, not as a distant ideal, but as a reflection of the respect and dignity we owe to ourselves and others. So as you move forward, may you choose love that strengthens you, challenges you, and nurtures you. May you have the strength to walk away from half love and the wisdom to recognize the beauty of a love that gives as much as it receives. And above all, may you remember that you are deserving of love in its entirety, not just its pieces, shadows, or fragments, but the kind of love that meets you fully and sees you completely.